or Romeca Blackmon. Sorry. Wait, oh, maybe she's not here. Hold on. And then Romeca Blackmon, sorry. All right, ma'am. You filed a petition for an order of protection. No, I'm sorry, for a stalking no contact order. Do you wish to continue against the respondent? The petitioner, which is Deja, says yes because she's still stalking me. Something just happened on Juneteenth. She's still reaching out. What happened on Juneteenth? She's still reaching out to, I guess, her family and friends. Hold on. Oh, Deja did a lot of telling, didn't she? She did a lot of running and tell that, throwing rocks and hiding her hand. All of them. She was mad though. I mean, because we do know that Romeca and old boy was still they was dealing with each other. Do you wish to continue your matter against the respondent? So Deja says yes because she's still stalking me. Um, Something just happened on Juneteenth. She's still reaching out to my family and friends, going through third parties, which that third party is a hearsay, and I'm still being stalked on social media, different pages. She making threats on there as well. Okay. And so, Romeca had already posted something about that, saying, this girl is going around talking about I'm stalking her and I'm not, and they was just going back and forth, man, playing with the courts. Deja, because we already know she wasn't scared. Of course, I can't never find what I'm looking for, but yeah, y'all seen it. And then him. Okay, so she's still reaching out to family and friends, going through third party, and I'm still being stalked on social media, different pages. She's stalking threats on there as well. She's making threats on there as well. And she again ain't showed no proof or nothing. So she's stalking me. Something happened on Juneteenth. She's still reaching out to my family and friends, going through third parties, and I'm still being stalked on social media, different pages. She's making threats on there as well. And then the court says, "Give me one moment, ma'am." Okay. Hold on, y'all. Okay, so give me 1 second, one moment, ma'am, okay? And she says, okay. The court says, okay. So Miss Johnson filed a petition for an order of protection on December 4th, 2024. The respondent was served with that petition and did appear in court on June 18th. Okay, so there is some information right there. That is the date. It all started December 4th. The court proceedings that I was just reading with Romeca there was June 18th. Okay, so what happened on June 18th again? Because she said something just happened on Juneteenth. And they was in court at the time. Like, what day is Juneteenth? Is it the 18th? Anyway, the respondent was served with the petition and did appear in court on June 18th. The respondent, Miss Blackman, is not in court. Okay, so this is the July 14th hearing that Romeca did not come to. Again, so that's exactly a month, well, dang near, because the first day of school was August 18th, which is the day that she wrote that letter. For people that are still confused on that, the letter was not written the day that she died. It was written the first day of school. This would have been the second week, I'm assuming, because it was September 4th. It started August. Well, yeah, I mean, shoot. He was in school a couple weeks before it, right? So, anyway, the respondent was served with the petition and did appear in court on June 18th, 2025. The respondent, Ms. Blackman, is not in court today. So, respondent is found in default. That is what he said that's what he said prior to. He said if she didn't show up, that will happen. If Deja didn't show up, then Romeca, it would just get thrown out, her order. So Miss Johnson, can you please raise your right hand for me? The witness sworn, Deja, okay? That's why Deja thought she was good. That right here, she was there in July. And so how many days later was Romeca deceased? Miss Johnson, can you please raise your right hand for me? Witness sworn, Quadajah Johnson. The petitioner herein called as a witness on her own behalf, having been first duly sworn, was examined and testified as following. Examination, the court. That's very interesting. So July 14th, stuff was happening all up until then. So I'm assuming July 14th was the last time that they seen Deja in court, right? So testify for examination, the court. Could you state your full name for the record, please? She said, Quadajah Johnson. And Miss Johnson, when you filled your petition on December 4th, 2024, to the best of your knowledge, were the allegations and statements you made in the petition true? I'm sure, but I ain't there yet. Okay, so were they true and correct? Deja says yes. Do you believe they are still true and correct today? That's crazy. She just won because she wasn't there. So, did she have it or not? I will say she did, according to this, but it didn't. Yeah, according to this, she would have had it, but it still don't mean a damn thing for unaliving somebody. So she says yes, and the court says, and you are seeking this order in part because the respondent. Wait, hold on. Oh shoot. Okay, so the court says, and you are seeking this order in part because the respondent has engaged in a pattern of. Well, she just got this order, man, by default. I wonder what was Romeca doing and why didn't she come in that day? I did hear that it was conversation in the midst of all of this that they were telling Romeca that everything was cool. She had dropped the charges against Los, and that they was gonna be good. So maybe that is what was going on, that they had tricked her to believe that. I mean, that came up. I don't know how true it is, but had y'all heard that she was tricked into believing? Yeah, so she got pregnant again. Exactly. Just crazy. She absolutely did. So it's possible that that could have been true. I'm not sure because I haven't seen it myself, but it was rumored that he had said that, she dropped the charges against him, and I think all of them was playing with the courts. Like, that's crazy. But the courts, do you still believe it's true and correct? So yes. And you are seeking this order in part because the respondent, which is Romeca, has engaged in a pattern of harassment towards you, being beginning last fall of 2024. Is that correct? And she says yes. So last fall of 2024, before December 4th, is when she's claiming December 4th of 2024 is when she's claiming that all of this stuff, harassment and all this pattern of harassment towards her began last fall. So it's a lot. So the court said, and yes, the court, and you are saying to me that the harassment has continued up until at least June 19th. And she says yes. All lies. I mean, she getting this on default by lying. I mean, because she doing the same thing. So it's tit for tat, going back and forth. Both of them. Romeca talking for herself. She's lying for herself. Anyway, petitioner, yes. The court says, and do you know where she might be residing at this time? And the petitioner said she still lives at 81 on Ingleside Avenue. So yeah, I have the address. So see, this is the one where how you get the address, ma'am? So yeah, I have the address. The court said, Miss Johnson, when we are done here, can you chat with my court coordinator, which is aide, and provide that address to her. Can you leave it in the chat? So in order to get somebody address and to stalk somebody, chase somebody down that you say is living in a hotel and doing all of that stuff that she said that she was doing, who was stalking who again? So yeah, it says Miss Johnson, when you are done here, can you chat with the court coordinator, which is aide, and provide that street address to her? Can you leave it in the chat function on Zoom? She said, I've sent it to her before, but I'll send it again. Okay. See, she a little mouthy there. She should already have it. I done gave it to her. You know what I'm saying? Just type it again. She wanted that to be known. Okay, so the court says, well, I don't have a file in front of me. That's why I had to print out the petition and things. So I appreciate your patience. Oh, so he explaining to her why they need her to do that again, why they ain't got their stuff together. And then the court says, well, I don't have the file in front of me. Okay, so thank you for your patience. And she says, okay. And the court says, having previously defaulted the respondent after reviewing the verified petition, having previously defaulted the respondent after reviewing the verified petition with details, a number of harassing actions by respondent to both petitioner and other family members, and based on petitioner's testimony today, and based on pre pre-respondence of the evidence on the preponderance of evidence, the court finds that it has justification over petitioner and respondent venue. Now, what exactly do all that mean? Exactly. Hold on. So that was some shady grounds, is what I'm looking at here. She didn't need to ever be granted that. That's why Carlos talked about her new man and trip they went on, I guess. Right. Now she mentioned something. Well, actually, I heard him say that she didn't have nobody, he didn't have nobody. That's when he was talking about the Christmas thing. And when he started talking about that, he was making it sound like, well, of course I couldn't be there. It wasn't no man in that picture when he was talking to the one creator. Because he was like, I couldn't be there, but of course she can pop her stuff. Yeah, he like giving her the okay to say that she paid for the trip, even though he allegedly paid for it. That dude was talking, he was talking both when they were in on good terms, and he was talking and mixing, like when they was on good terms versus when they was on bad terms. He was mixing it all together. It was way more bad terms leading up to her death than it was good. And he wasn't never gonna be cool with another man being around. Like, get out of here. All now, no one's seen the new man. Ain't nowhere to be found. Yeah, where is the new man? Has he spoke out? Like, all of this attention she getting, you think the new man would have popped up and said something by now? She had a new man and was trying to move on. I really don't know. Like, where is he? Have anybody heard him speak up or anything? Her words per witness. I know y'all not about to do this. Welcome in, Venus. Her words per witness. Her words through this court paperwork that I'm reading that they actually did, but the witnesses saw what they saw and don't have any reason to believe otherwise. But I mean, witnesses don't get it right 100%. They things they say got to be vetted. I wouldn't want to just go down. I wouldn't want to go down based off of a witness. That's why they got other things. Like, they gonna have all of this court work, all of this court paperwork, if they can use this to show what happened leading up to all of this. And then cell phone documentation, her traveling back and forth. And for the people that don't see the danger of her having a loaded weapon while her child is in the car, is just crazy to me, because it had one, if it's true that it jammed, which I'm not sure. I don't know if the paperwork say that it jammed or not. But if it did jam, then it would still be one in there jammed that could have just something could have happened. Freaky, crazy, wild. Something could have hit the car. The baby's ears could be ringing. It could be too loud. The baby was right there. This is crazy. But anyway, the court says, having previously defaulted the respondent after reviewing and verified petition with details a number of harassing actions by respondent to both petitioner and other family members, and based on petitioner's testimony today, and just based off of the fact that she was there and they just gave it to her because Romeca wasn't there, but preponderance of evidence, the court finds that it has jurisdiction over petitioner and respondent venue something. Hold on. Yeah, the courts gave her wings though, y'all. For her to be able to get this, it really helped her grow wings. So says petitioner, can you add my son? Oh, so Deja asks, can you add my son on there as well? He's 5 months. So at the time, he was 5 months. This was this was July. Yeah, so that's about right. This was July 14th. She had the baby in February. He's 5 months old. The court said, sure, congratulations. She says, thank you. The court said, what's your son's initials? And she said, my son's initials is CS. So she really added, oh, why I'm getting my way, add my son on there too. Like, okay, so oh man, if you don't get off my phone. Wait a minute, hold on. What is this? Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. Try not to miss nothing. Okay, so if you get a visit, wait. The court says, and there will be no contact with petitioner through third parties or social media. This order was issued on July 14th at 2:11 p.m. This default will run for 2 years until July 14th of 2027. Miss Johnson, Miss Johnson, do you have another court date? Wait. Miss Johnson, you do not have another court date. However, the respondent does have 30 days from today's date to try to vacate this default judgment. Okay. Now, if people, now let's say she just said that right now, Romeca didn't show up. She don't know what happened in court. But Deja knows that she got 30 days to even fix that. So they gonna do whatever they can to make sure that she don't know. So they could do stuff like give wrong addresses so they can't serve her and stuff like that. They could have been doing it the whole time to try to be ahead of her. You know what I'm saying? So they basically saying, and there will be no contact with petitioner through third parties or social media. This order was issued on July 14th at 2:11 p.m. This default will run for 2 years until July 14th, 2027. Ms. Johnson, you do not have another court date. However, the respondent does have 30 days from today's date to try to vacate this default judgment. So, if you get a visit from the sheriff, something by certified mail or even by email indicating that you have another court date in this matter, please make sure you appear, okay? And of course she says okay. So she left that court date like, okay, we all set. So from July 14th, and Romeca was unalive September 8th. This was the last things that the courts said to her, according to what I'm looking at. So she thought she was all set. Okay, well, hey, we gonna make sure that something happened within these 30 days, or we gonna make sure that she don't show up here so everything can be in place, and she ain't gonna know. So some of the people were saying, oh, that he said that he wasn't gonna press charges, blase, skip a. Could they have been lying to her, making her feel like everything is cool when they really had this plan in place? Well, if that is what happened, I'm guaranteeing y'all that the courts is gonna figure it out and act accordingly. So she said, okay. They said, do you have any questions for me? And of course she did. Hold on. So, yeah. So if she reaches out to me, if she reaches out to a family member, I'm assuming. Hold on. Let's see what she about to say. Yeah, see, she trying to get it in place. So they need to study this. Okay, so all right. So let me make sure I hear you right, Judge. Yes. So if she reaches out to a family member again, like she has their phone numbers and stuff, because she pays for my information online. So if she reaches out to them again, who do I report to? Okay, so yeah, she worried about who does she report to if she reaches out to them, yet she didn't report to nobody when she arrived on the scene. Make that make sense. She was more concerned about these alleged phone calls that was being made to her loved ones, but on that day she didn't do what they told her to do. Because a lot of people say, oh, she didn't have an obligation to call the police. She didn't have to call the police. Yes, she did. She needed to. That's what the courts ordered her to do if something else happened. So if she reaches out to the family members again, like she has, because now she talking about she has their phone numbers and stuff because she pay to get my information online. I believe she pays to get Romeca's information online, which is why she even knew that. Okay, and she telling on herself right now, allegedly. So who do I report to? The court said the local police precinct. Call the police. Tell them that you have a default stalking no contact order. That's why she said it on the scene. I got a CCL and a restraining order. That is what she was doing. She was following the court orders. So yeah, this court order gave her power. It did. Her bullshit was powered by the court system. She played in their face and they let her because she didn't have no damn proof. And her and Romeca was having the same complaints, and her voice shouldn't have been no stronger than Romeca's. So whoever said that, you right, man. She got her way, and that cost Romeca her life. It really did. Looking at this. And so and stuff because she paid for my information online. Yeah, so the police, they said call the local police. No, call, yeah, the local police precinct. Call the police. Tell them that you have a default stalking no contact order. A default stalking no contact order that respondent has violated that, and give them the details. Well, the details was right there. She thought y'all see this mess. Haley, she said, I agree 100%. Yeah, this is all in black and white, y'all. That is absolutely insane. So for the people, why she didn't have to call the police? She didn't have to do that. Yeah, she did. That's what they ordered her to do. So if they reach out to family members, make sure. Hold on, what else he gonna say? Make sure. Hold on. Now she got to be out of her mind. Oh my god, I gotta get that part. But then now we gonna get into the jacket. Hold on. They asked her what was the worst thing that she did. Okay, it looks like he said make sure they get a call log or something like that to show that it's the respondent's phone number and they can testify if they recognize their voice. Something like that. And then the police would do their investigation and decide whether to bring charges in cooperation with the state's attorney's office. So basically they was telling her to bring proof of what's been going on, which she never did bring any proof in court. So now they saying give her show the proof that she's been calling and still constantly harassing you. The setup is crazy, BFF. I mean, we reading the whole play right now. That's insane. They powered this girl. Yup, she played in the court's face and thought she had the upper hand. And she didn't have nothing for no murder. No, dog. Like, what? You didn't. Why I got this up here? You did not have the okay to do what you did. Not by a long shot. And not to mention all the other madness that is going on. Like Holly, like girl, you wasn't scared of nothing. Hold on, let me see something right quick. She wasn't scared of nothing, baby. Nothing. She wanted all the damn smoke, but want to make us believe that she don't. Oh, she want all the smoke. Let's see this. Let's pull up her channel. The real Holly Johnson. And as a matter of fact, her page shouldn't no longer be here, so y'all can report this to YouTube, because when you commit a crime and you have a YouTube channel, they supposed to make that mug disappear. Yep, the crime that she committed violates YouTube's guidelines, and she should not still have this channel on YouTube. But yeah, so she made this nice little channel. She had this already, because in order to be on YouTube, you got to create an account. But she didn't have no content on it. She's had this channel since December 9th, 2012, which that's interesting too, because December 4th of 2024, they was in court. Another date that I found very interesting is last year, September 7th or 8th, which is right around the time she was unalive this year. I mean, she was unalive last year on September. Now I'm saying last year, thinking y'all know I'm thinking 2025 when I'm saying last year. But 2025, Romeca was unalived in September 8th. But 2024, Romeca allegedly on September 7th or 8th sent pictures of her private parts to Holly, allegedly. Now somebody else said that somebody else probably sent that. Lowe's could have sent them that stuff to Holly and tried to make it seem like it was her or whatever, but I don't know. So but yeah, I just find it interesting. The dates are lining up. Like it was 1 year, dang near to the day that she accused her in court, or accused her of showing her body parts or whatever, and a year later she is deceased on the same day. So in the description